Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome back to the second lecture of financial management. In today's class, we will discuss about the goal of the companies, or in other words, goal of the firms. So in our earlier class, we have discussed about the three important decision areas of the financial management, that were acquisition of asset, the financing of asset, and management of asset, with were all goals in mind. So we have discussed about the acquisition, that acquisition mean when we are making the left hand side of the balance sheet, when we are preparing the left hand side of balance sheet. This means when we are taking decision about the assets, that how much asset is required, and which asset we should purchase and which asset we should eliminate. In financing decision, we discussed that here in this decisions, the manager will make the right hand side of the balance sheet, and right hand side of the balance sheet consists on liabilities and owner equity. Here the manager will take decision that which one is the best type of financing, and what will be the best mix of financing, and what will be the payout ratio or the dividend policy. And finally, we have discussed about the asset management, which are the most important. The finance manager is responsible to use the assets and the money efficiently and effectively. So we have discussed all of these things in our earlier class. Today our discussion will be about the goals of the firm, because in our earlier definition we haven't discussed about the goal of the firm. So today class and today session we will discuss about the goal of the firm. Dear students, as you know that each and every organization is having its own goals. So in terms of financial management, organization is having goals to maximize their shareholder wealth. This is the most important goal of the organization, to maximize the shareholder wealth. So here the Van Haan explains that to maximize the shareholder wealth, companies needs to create values, and when they are creating values, so how this creation of value will occur? This will occur when the company finance manager or the company owners or directors and governors maximize the share price for the current shareholders. So we can call this process as the maximization of wealth. So there are, like for example, wealth maximization is the most important job of the firm managers, and they are always having concern to maximize it. If you see over here to this page, here we have explained about the wealth maximization. See, wealth maximization is see over here, this is about the wealth maximization. So wealth maximization, we can say that it is a very modern approach, and the company managers and the company shareholders and board of directors is always having concern towards the wealth maximization. Wealth maximization is a long-term thinking. The company managers will keep the long-term perspectives of the organization in mind, and they will try to improve the situation of the firm in long term. Wealth maximization mean to increase the level of sales of the company. Wealth maximization mean to have more market shares in the market, and this means to have a lot of customers in market. And also wealth maximization will emphasis on the cash flows, to have higher cash flows in the market or in the geography where the business is working. So this is what we may say it is called the wealth maximization. So in simple, we can say that wealth maximization is a modern approach. It's a long-term thinking approach, and here the company will have focus on sales increase. They will have focus on to have more market shares in the competing environment, and they will also emphasis on the cash flows of the company. So we can call this process as the wealth. So we may say that wealth maximization is represented by market share price per share of the common stock. And if you are interested to know about the maximization of shareholder wealth, so multiply the common stock or the common shares of the company into the price per share in the market. So this will give you about the wealth of the company. So finally, wealth maximization is a reflection of all the three decisions that we have discussed above. About all these three decisions mean the financing decision, the asset management decision, and acquisition of asset decisions. So these three decisions is, if you take all these decisions perfectly, rightly, so you can maximize the wealth of the company. So wealth maximization چې د هغه پروسه ده چې د کمپنۍ د مهم اهدافو څخه شمیرل کیږي او د ویلث میکسیمایزیشن لپاره یو کمپنۍ ته ضرورت دی چې هغوی خپل ویلیو کریټ کړي په مارکیټ کې او د ویلیو کریشن معنا دا ده چې د مارکیټ کې د شیر پرایس اضافه شي. د شیر پرایس اضافه کېدل کله چې موږ شیر پرایس د کمپنۍ د کامن سټاک ملټیپلای کو سو دا موږ ته د ویلث یا د کمپنۍ هغه ارزښت موږ ته ښایي. خو د کمپنۍ ارزښت چې دی دا د درې ډیسیژنز د کمپنۍ پورې تعلق لري. کوم چې درې ډیسیژن چې دي موږ سره هغه د انویسټمنټ ډیسیژن دی، د فاینانسینګ ډیسیژن دی او د ایسټ مینجمنټ ډیسیژن دی. که موږ دا درې تصمیمونه په ښه طریقې سره اخیستي وي یا د فاینانس مینیجر سو د کمپنۍ ویلث په خپله طریقه په اسانۍ سره میکسیمایز کیږي یا په مخکې ځي. Along with the wealth maximization, we have one another concept which are called the profit maximization. And profit maximization mean when the firm earning after taxes has maximized or increased, so we can call it profit maximization. How the manager can maximize earning after taxes, the profit, how the company can do the profit maximization. So here in this concept, the finance manager will focus on the current profit while harming firm. And they are considering the short period of time and they are issuing common stock, and through that common stock they will purchase the treasury bills, and through that they can earn the money in the market. But this concept will ignore changes in the risk level of the firm. This will not consider, like for example, the risk level of the company. So we may say that profit maximization is a traditional approach. It is a very old approach, we may say, the profit maximization, and the thinking of this approach is very short. The managers is only considering to improve the earning, and this concept, the profit maximization, will help in earning profit, but it will not help in the wealth maximization. So as we mentioned earlier, that wealth maximization mean that you may maximize the earning per share price for the existing shareholders, or in other words, wealth maximization, we may say that it is the increase in sale, it is the more capturing more market shares, or it is also improvement in the cash flows of the company. So in short, we may say that profit maximization is to improve earning after taxes for a company. So this is a very short term thinking for the finance. And what is the earning after taxes and how you can calculate this? So let's to see this in one of the income statement. See that this is ABC Corporation. This is ABC Corporation, and we have, like for example, in its income statement, the ABC Corporation income statement. So in this income statement, if you see, So we have, like for example, on the top of the income statement we have revenue, and always from the revenue we will always deduct the cost of goods sold. So this is deduction from that. So the company will have, like for example, here we will have the gross profit, and from the gross profit we will, the finance or the accountant will deduct the operating expenses of the company. So they will have the EBIT, earning after taxes. It's also called operating profit. And why it is called operating profit? Because from the gross profit we have deducted the operating expenses. So that's why we will have the earning before interest and taxes. And from this earning before income and taxes, we can add, with this we can add the financial income, and we can deduct the financial expenses. It is also called the interest expenses. It is also called the interest expenses. So we may also call it the interest expenses, and this is one of the deduction of the business. So when we deduct this, so we will have, like for example, the EBT, or earning before taxes, because from the EBIT we have already deducted the I. How we have deducted the I? So see, I stand for the interest expenses. So we have already deducted, or it is also called the financial expenses. It is also called the financial expenses. So we have deducted it. Now at the end we will have the EBT, earning before taxes. So from this earning, or from this portion of earning, we will pay to the government taxes. So and one is on, there are 20% tax. So if we earn, like for example, money, so we should pay 20% taxes to our government from the corporate income. It is also called corporate income tax. 20% tax to MOF, Ministry of Finance. So this when we deduct these amount, mean this 20% tax from the EBT, earning before taxes, so at the end we will have the EAT, the term EAT. EAT is stand for, E stand for earning, A stand for after, and T stand for taxes. So it is earning after taxes. These are the money that that we have discussed in the in our slide, earning after taxes. So in profit maximization, the whole focus of the finance manager, or the board of directors, or the company governors, to maximize earning after taxes. So I hope that you have understand that where it have a place, the earning after taxes. Earning after taxes the Kudam Jaidara. So the income statement as वक्त की तमाम expenses मनफी शवा, at the end amount क्या जो tax हम दादा शवा, वो बाकी की में बना में earning after taxes याद में शवाती. So next slide is about the earning per share maximization discussion. What is earning per share? We have discussed about the profit maximization. Now we will discuss about the earning per share maximization, how to maximize per share earning. So how you can find this? So when you will divide the after tax earning, yani EAT, that we have discussed in the income statement, if you see over here, this one. So when you divide this one, this earning after taxes, when you divide this on the shares outstanding, or on the common stock outstandings, so this will give you the earning per share. So what is the earning per share problems? Earning per share does not specify timing or duration of expected return. This means that this will not consider the time value of money, and this will not consider the time and its duration while they are calculating the expected return. Second, this will ignore changes in the risk level of the firm. And third, this will call for a zero payout dividend policy. Ignore the risk level of the firm. What does this mean? So when, like for example, we are investing and we will have return on investment, so here they will not this will not consider the risk, because like for example, our risk return on investment is like for example for a long period of time, and some investment projects are mostly risky from the other projects. So for that purpose, and this concept yani mean earning per share maximization, which is a short term concept, or which is a short term thinking, this will not consider like for example the level of risk of the investment. And so sometimes the streams of earning per share would be more risky if the projects were undertaken. This means when we are investing in a project, so sometimes it will be more risky if we invest our money in it, and the earning per share would be like for example having risk for the company. And what does the call for a zero payout dividend policy mean? This means that the objective, if the objective of the company manager is only earning per share, so then the company would not pay any dividend. The company is not able to pay the dividend. Why? Because they will always thinking shortly. The company will always thinking shortly, and they will thinking to how to improve the earning per share. So what they will do, they will retain their earning, and then they will invest this earning into positive rate of return. So that's why we may say that if the company is have focus, if the company finance manager have focus on the earning per share maximization, so there would be a problem of the zero and dividend policy. There will be no dividend because most of the money will be decided to be retained within the business, and then they will invest in the areas where there is positive rate of return. So we may say that earning per share is having the three problems. First one, this will not consider the time and duration of the return. Second, this will ignore the return on investment and the level of risk in it. And third, this will also will not pay dividend to the shareholders. The owners will not get any dividend at the end of the like for example year. So the next class slide will explain you the strengths of shareholder wealth maximization. As we discussed that shareholder wealth maximization is like for example is a long-term concept, and it is long-term thinking. It is a modern approach, and here the focus is on the sales maximization, the focus is on the market share, and its focus is on the cash flow streams of the company. So let's to discuss about the strengths. What is the strengths of wealth maximization, and why we should give priority to these goals within the company. So see, the shareholder wealth maximization will focus on the current and the future profits of the company. This if you see the like for example profit maximization, so it was a short term thinking. They were only the finance manager were only busy to improve the earning after taxes, and they were issued their common stock, and they were busy to purchase the treasury bills here. And if we see the earning per share maximization, so only the time have not considered in this return, the risk level has not considered, and the company paid zero dividend to their shareholders. That's why we may say that company goals is to maximize the shareholder wealth. And why it is important? Because here it will answer to the current and future profit, and also earning per shares of the company. So one thing. Second, this concept will consider the time timing and duration, and the time value of money in it. So this concept will also consider the risk level and the profit in earning per share, and also it will provide dividend policies and all other relevant factors. So that's why we may say that the most important goals of the finance manager is to maximize the shareholder wealth. This is the goal of the firm, and it is because shareholder wealth is having relationship with the current and future profit and earning per share, the timing durations, the risk level of the investment, and the profit from that investment, and also the dividend policy and other relevant factors. So this is what we may say the goal. And the share price, and lastly, they mention in the slides that share price serves as a barometer for business performance. What does this barometer mean, and why the share price is like, for example, your andaza the business performance the para. So this means that how well management is doing on behalf of its shareholders, and I mean how much the managers and the business management strong to improve the earning per shares and to improve and to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. So this means shareholder always take decisions on behalf of the share price. If the share price is strong, so they will take decisions to invest in the company, and if it is weak, so they will not take interest in to invest within the company. And if the company management do not satisfy the shareholders, and the shareholders of the company dissatisfied from the business performance, so what will happen? They will sell their shares. The shareholders will sell their shares, and they will attract it towards another company. They will invest their capital in other companies. So what will happen? The downward pressure on the share price will occur, and by this way all of the shareholder will disheartened from the business, from the management of this business, and they will sell their shares and they will invest in other companies or in other areas. So that's why management should focus on the value creations. Our management should focus on the shareholder wealth maximization, and when they are focusing on the shareholder wealth maximization, so they need the three important decisions of the companies, are the three important decisions of financial management, which are the investment decision, financing decision, and asset management decision. If they take all these three decisions perfectly and rightly, so the shareholder wealth will easily maximize, and they will take interest within the business activities, and they will take interest in the business performance. So dear students, in today's class we have discussed about the goal of the firm. The goal of the firm is to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. Wealth of shareholders mean to create value for the shareholders. Value creation mean when you improve or when you maximize the share price for the current shareholders. Now, so you may have other concepts too, like for example profit maximization and earning per share maximization. Profit maximization is a short-term concept, and here the focus is on only earning after taxes, that as I have shown to you students through the income statement. And the main problem behind the earning after taxes maximization is the focus over here is on the current profit, and current profit is always harming the firm, and the finance or the people who are the management who are responsible, they will always issuing new stocks, and through that they will purchase the treasury bills, and from that treasury bills they will earn the money, which are like for example short-term thinking and short-term profit. And also here they will not consider the risk level of the firm. And if you see the earning per share maximization calculation way is you will divide your earning after taxes over on the share outstanding or over on the common stock. This approach also have like for example some of the shortcomings or some of the problems. This approach does not consider the timing value and duration of the return. Second, this will not consider the risk level of the investment, and in this concept there is a zero payout ratio for the dividend. So that's why the management should focus on the wealth maximization, because wealth maximization is considering the current and future profits of the company and also the earning per share of the company, which are for the current period of time and for the future. It will also consider the time duration and the time value of the money and calculation of the projects. This will also consider the level of risk and profit from that investment and earning per shares. Also, this wealth maximization will also consider the dividend policy and other relevant factors. So we may say that wealth maximization is the most important goal of the fund managers, and they will always consider this goals to have that the company manager should have these goals to maximize the wealth of the company. And the share price, the owners will always considering the share prices while they are investing in a company, because share price is a barometer for the business performance. And if the shareholders if the management is doing well, so actually the share price of the company will become improve, and when you improve the share price, so what will happen, the shareholder will satisfied from the management and they will keep their business for long period of time. But if you do not improve the share price, so or if you do not improve the wealth, if you do not maximize the wealth of the company, so shareholder will be disheartened, they will sell their shares and they will go towards the other companies, and a downward pressure will occur upon the company shares, and the value of the company will go down in the market. So that's why if you are interested to maximize the wealth of the company or to create value for the company, so you should be rational, you should be very smart in the three decisions of the financial management. And these three decisions are the investment decision, financing decision, and the asset management decision. So some of the companies is having different goals, like you may say, see over here the Cadbury Scoops is a company. Scoops governing objective is to grow and share owner value, to grow the owner's share value. And the Swiss group is having a mission to achieve higher customer satisfaction, one goal. Second goal is to maximize shareholder value, second goal, and to be an employer of choice. So see, this company is having three important goals, but this company is having, like for example, one goal. The same Dow Chemical company is having to maximize long-term shareholder value, one goal again. And ExxonMobil is having again long-term sustainable shareholder value, so one goal. So company is having different goals. Along with the wealth maximization, company should focus on the other goals of the company to improve their customer level in the market, to have higher customer shares in the market, and to target other geography and to satisfy their customers. Okay, dear students, thank you. I wish you success in your future. If you have any questions, so you can send me a voice message through my WhatsApp number mentioned in the first page of your slides. Okay, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.